Hey, what is up guys? Klausnex here, and I'm here with another Lies of the Fitness Industry video. Today I want to talk about it's not so much lies or corruption, but it's really just how messed up gyms have gotten in the city. And this comes from a personal place because I work in a gym, and I feel like personally at fault for this. Gyms today have become very sophisticated. They have lots of rules. They're kept very clean. They have lots of staff. It's all a matching colors and theme. This is what gyms today are like. But with these rules, there's a downside, and that's that it restrains people from training the way that they want to train or the way that they need to train to be getting the results that they need. A lot of these gyms, they have these rules, these shackles that they put on you where you are not allowed to make one whisper of noise in that gym. Otherwise, people are turning their heads and they're looking at you and they're angry with you, thinking you're training like an asshole. And they don't want to hear you train. They just want to train. And if heaven forbid they themselves make a noise, or they're going to be embarrassed and ashamed, and they're looking around to see if anyone heard them make a noise. I mean, let's take a look back to where training originated from. Like way, way back in the day when people were training themselves to be warriors, training for battle, training for war. This is what training was for, right? And all that, and then athletics came into it. But these people, they trained hard. They trained intensely. They trained with every ounce of their being to get themselves to where they needed to be. And today you go in a gym and you're scared of picking up a heavy dumbbell because it's going to be loud when you drop it when you're done, or when you're putting it back on the rack. And you got to ease it back down onto your lap and then onto the floor or back onto the rack. And this really hinders your ability in performance in the gym. Now, as someone who works in the gym, I personally can vouch for this because I was trained to go to speak with people if they were being too loud or being too rowdy, or people who were dropping their weights too loudly in the gym. And this every single day, this mentality of thinking people should be training quietly has put me in the mindset when I'm working. If someone drops their weights and I'm thinking, oh man, this gym douchebag is here again. He just dropped his 60-pound dumbbells on the floor. Man, why doesn't he go train somewhere else? And I hate that it's poisoned my mind because I have become a part of the problem. So for the most part, I let a lot of these things slide in the gym when I see people training like that, and I have to constantly remind myself that in the gym you need to train a certain way to be getting the results you need. And I've seen a running theme of it's always the big guys, the big jack guys, and they're in their curls and they drop their weights. And I think, man, it's always these big assholes who are got to be loud and screaming in the gym. And then it reminds me that, wow, these big assholes are the ones with the big muscles. They're the ones who look the best. It kind of makes you wonder, right? Are these guys onto something that the rest of us aren't? And the truth is they are. They're in tune with themselves. They're training hard and they're training intensely. And that's the thing you need in the gym to be getting results. And if you're not training intensely, you're not putting your whole heart into it, you're scrolling Instagram in between your sets, you're not focused. You're not getting the results you need. And a lot of these gyms, they prevent you from getting that focus and getting to that intensity level with all their rules. Now, there's starting to be gyms that are sprouting up around the city that are more loud. Gyms that have lots of squat racks, lots of deadlift platforms, stuff like this. Gyms where they let you be as loud as you want. And these are gyms, when you've been in there are a lot of pros in there. There are people who are training super intensely, people who are lifting tons of weight. And these are people who are training loud and they're training intensely. And honestly, guys, it's a lot safer to be loud because when you're loud, like when you're lifting a barbell, right, and you don't want to gently lower it back down to the ground, you just drop it. Okay, that's a lot safer for your spine. If you're lifting heavy on deadlifts, so just drop it after every time you pick it up. It's a lot safer, right? It's dangerous to be easing your weights down all the time. If you just pounded out 10 reps of 100-pound dumbbells on the bench, it's a lot safer just to drop them than to have to bring them close into your body and find some way to lift them up with just your back to get back to a seated position so you could gently lower it to the ground. It's just dangerous, honestly. It's just dangerous. So at some point, a line was drawn between people who want to train kind of softly, train in their own little zones. They don't want to be disturbed by others, and these people who do train intensely. And then we have a line between gyms and the people in the gyms, and the people who hate the other people in the gyms, and the people who hate those loud guys when they come in. And really the only solution to this is to find a gym where it's tolerated. And because of all this judgment, the evil, nasty spawn child of this was born. And this gym is called Planet Fitness, and I haven't seen it in Canada, but I know it's around a lot in the States. And this is a gym that says it's a judgment-free zone, but in reality, it's the gym where you will be judged the harshest. It's a gym that literally has an alarm that goes off if you're being too loud. What's the lunk alarm? If you go on YouTube, you'll see all kinds of videos of people getting kicked out because of the lunk alarm. It's literally the most judgment-packed gym you could ever be in. They encourage people who are shy or intimidated by standard gyms to go there and get their exercise in. And there's like 200 treadmills and whatever in there, small free weight areas. And this is kind of where a bit of the corruption comes in, right? Because they market towards a certain type of people. So they already eliminate other type of people who maybe live in that area of the city but now can't attend this gym. And they encourage these people who are shy to come in. And these people are often there, have a low self-esteem because they're very overweight or they don't know what they're doing. And this is the most sick thing of all, is that they'll have like pizza Fridays or days when they bring in donuts, stuff like that, to kind of like, oh, we're down to earth, we understand your health problems here, it's okay, you can be healthy and eat pizza. And then people come in and they eat pizza in the gym, man. I can't understand how this is even a real thing. You are inviting someone to work out in your gym, to burn calories, to lose weight, and then you feed them calories, and you feed them the greasiest food known to man, which is pizza. And hey, I I love pizza, but you don't combine pizza with fitness. You don't bring those two worlds together. Man, there's videos of people who are eating their pizza while they're working out. It's just a joke. And this is kind of like my last video on personal training, how they get you to come to do what they want you to do, and then they stall your results so you keep coming back. If you go to the gym and you're eating and junk while you're working out, you're literally doing nothing. Okay, you're not burning weight, you're just spinning your tires. And this is kind of where the corruption comes from. And this corruption is the birth of judgment in gyms and all these rules in gyms. And there's one last point I want to make here, guys. And this is a point that I'm probably going to touch on in the future in more length and depth. And that's the difference between people who are training like loudly and what separates them from just training intensely and training hard versus training like an asshole. And that difference comes in with the mentality of the person working out, whether they're ego lifting, they're lifting to show off, they're lifting to get attention, or they're lifting because they have to lift that intense to be getting the results they need. So that's kind of where I want to end the video off. And it's just that if you see someone training in the gym and they're training super hard, take a second to think, am I being super judgmental of this guy? Is he just training intensely? Or is he dropping the weights really loudly on purpose, throwing his hands in the air, looking around, seeing if anyone sees him? Know that difference. And if more people understood the difference between training intensely and that sometimes you do need to be loud and you do need to drop your weights to get that pent up energy out so that you can lift harder, train harder, get better results, versus people who are just being obnoxious. And I'm going to end this video with a piece of advice for you guys, and that's the only way to avoid this gym corruption is to find a gym that shares the same views and ideals as you do. I honestly hate working out at the gym that I work at, the gym where I get a free membership, because of its views and ideals and how it views what fitness should be. Sometimes I'll drive across the city to go work at a gym that has deadlift platforms and racks where I can be loud, because sometimes I just need to be loud to be getting the results I need. I need to train intensely. Otherwise, if I'm holding back and being careful with my barbell, lowering it to the ground, I'm just not training as hard as I could be. So to wrap this video up, guys, find a gym that works for you. Even if it's a little farther, if it costs a little more, it's definitely worth it in the long run. And that's my video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to give me a like and a subscribe, I could really use some of those. And stay tuned for more videos. As always, Clawsnex out.